I'm in the 30-mile stretch of trail that I did with my friend right before the PCT. Like 10 days before hiking the PCT, I was out here training and seeing if I was ready. And back then, I couldn't even do 8-mile days. It was between like 6, I was working my way from 6 up to 8 miles on this trail, and I could only do 0.65 miles at a time before needing to take like a 40-minute break. And so we would just be walking along the trail like this, and then I'd look at my distance, 0.6 miles has passed. I would find the flattest stretch of trail that I could, and then I would just lay down straight on the trail. Because this was April and we were the only ones out here, so no one was going to come along and try to get past us. And I was still trying to reach my benchmark of carry 25 pounds on my back, go 8 miles in a day, and do it without injury. But I was so weak and I was so limited, and my future was still so uncertain back then. I really did not know if I could make it on the PCT. And I know it's possible that that seems silly now. Like, of course I'm super strong now. Of course I was always going to make it. But in fact, the PCT was maybe the 5th or 6th big gigantic plan that I had made since my injuries, if you count the herniated disc and the foot thing. And for all of those other big plans that I made, my body just didn't end up being ready for them, and I had to abandon all of these plans. And so I was kind of surprised in a very wonderful way when the PCT worked out as well as it did. It finally something worked. And I was so unsure about the PCT that I didn't even tell people that I was planning to hike it until I knew for sure that I was going to hike it, which wasn't until a couple days before I hiked it. One thing that I like to do is set little time travel spots for myself. So if I find myself on a long distance trail that I know I'm going to hike in the future, I'll set a little time travel portal. I will, close my eyes, feel how I'm feeling then, and then open them and imagine being on that spot later when I'm on the hike. And then later when I'm on the hike, I'll close my eyes and then open them and time travel back to when I still had all of that anticipation and the hike hadn't happened yet. And so just a few miles back, I had done that back in April. I felt all of my weakness and my only being able to hike 0.65 miles and my uncertainty and my fear and my hesitation and all of that for where I was at. And then I imagined coming back through that same spot, strong, healed, legs like tree trunks, just striding through the landscape, hiking all day long and feeling the joy of being a thru hiker again. And then today, when I got back to that spot, it was true. All of my hopes and dreams had come true. And that was a really amazingly incredible feeling. And I ended up having a pretty emotional morning in a very intensely happy way. So anyways, today I'm just feeling a deep, deep happiness and like a bursting joy to be out here, so strong I can barely contain it in my body. Like I can feel the joy up here. It's trying to expand past my shoulders. I can't describe it any better than that. All right, I am leaving the PCT and coming to the Cabin Creek trailhead, and this is where I'm starting my fire detour, I think. Okay, I've made the first of my fire rerouting decisions. I'm on a road, not the PCT right now. The route fire is still burning at I-5 near Castella and Castle Crags. And everyone is saying you can still go there and get rides out of there, and can even go to Amaratti's in Castella, the gas station. But you can't get on the PCT. There's going to be a closure officially really soon, and it's too close to the fire anyway. So I'm gonna have to hop on the PCT north of there, out of Mount Shasta. And so the question is, did I want to hike all the way to I-5 and then hike north along the I-5 corridor, or hike north now and hike west along the 89 corridor? And I figured the road walking is going to be nicer over here. So I was about 15 miles away from I-5 when I left the PCT at Cabin Creek Trailhead. I'm hiking north. I'm gonna go into McCloud. And then McCloud has some places where I can eat, and they have a little grocery and maybe a place where I can camp. And then I'll figure out how to get from McCloud to Mount Shasta. There's tons of forest roads and stuff back in there. I think it'll be pretty easy. That's the only part I don't really know right now. And then I think I found a route that other hikers have done from Mount Shasta to Lake Siskiyou, and this Sissoon-Callahan trail that will pop me back onto the PCT north of any fire stuff. And then I will walk the PCT to Etna and then probably road walk into Etna, because then I think I'm going to have to find a full road walk alternate to get around the Sayad Valley stuff. And there's not much point in planning everything out right now, but I did get to talk to some Sobo hikers who have come through and dealt with the fires. Had some great conversations with them, and one of them was showing me her routes that she took, which gave me some good ideas for roads and stuff. She had a route from kind of Sayad to Etna. But I think it's cool. You could totally skip from Mount Shasta straight to Ashland, take a bus and stuff, and that's a great way to do it. It'll get you closer to Canada sooner with the weather window coming. But also hikers, there's just a huge network of people who are figuring things out, and then we share information and routes and data and things like that. It's a good little grapevine. I love it. But anyways, for this particular case, going from the PCT to McCloud, I didn't need any hiker network because I already know this road, because in April when we hiked it, my dad and my friend and I, we all came down this road, checked it out. I know exactly how to get into town. And it should be about 10 miles overall of road walking on this really quiet dirt road, and then a bigger, maybe paved road into the rest of town. Coming up on the only navigation required on this route. Get to the biggish road and turn left. I am ready to be in town. There's milkshakes in town. Ice cold ice cream. That's what I want right now. It's so hot. Little snack for the road. Last of the season's blackberries. Those aren't ripe though. Nice. Okay. I'm being told to do that. I've been in McCloud for a little bit. I went to the gas station and got a Gatorade and an ice cream sandwich, and then I went to the resupply at the grocery store, and now I'm sorting through that and getting all my food. I went to the brewery, which was so nice, and I have leftover pizza, and they gave me blackberry cobbler, and I made friends with the locals and they gave me candy. I'll add this back into yesterday's video. It was, of course, a super hectic town day, as they always are. I got into McCloud late afternoon, super small town, very cute. And the first stop was the gas station for ice cream and electrolytes. And while I was sitting outside enjoying these, this little girl, maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old, comes around the corner, looks at me, gets really angry, kicks her little pink shoe off, it was a Croc, and goes, "I hate shoes, I get egg all over them." And then she just walks off. And then her guardian came around the corner and said, "Yeah, we've had an egg emergency," and then walked off. And it was one of those moments where you just get a brief glimpse into the incredibly vivid lives that other people are living. So then I went over to the RV camp where I was hoping to find a tent site, but that turned out to be very outdated information. But she was so nice. She got me set up in a little A-frame with a nice mattress, and she gave me a discount on it. And every single person in McCloud is the nicest person ever. The groundskeepers were also kind, and they got me set up with a place where I could charge my devices overnight safely, like under the eaves in case it rained. And I met so many friendly people in this town. I went over and I grabbed my resupply from the grocery store, and then I came back and hung out at the brewery for a while. And I met 3 lovely couples at the brewery, the owners and then some patrons, and 2 of them, they come and they live in their RVs every summer at this at McCloud because they love it so much. And they were so nice. The woman especially, she has this dark chocolate bar that she loves, and the gas station always makes sure that they have it in stock for her, and she goes and gets it, and she gave some of that to me. It was dark chocolate with peanut butter in it, Dove chocolate bar, and it was really good. And then also at the brewery there was this place is known for their mushrooms, their morel mushrooms, and someone takes the mushrooms and then does a little enamel on it and turns them into jewelry. I thought that was so fascinating. And then the really kind woman wanted to buy one for me, which was just the sweetest thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna remember that one for a long time. I couldn't take it because I can't take anything, and I don't like to have necklaces around my neck right now. But it was just such a touching gesture and like a good symbol of all the kindness of the people that are living there. And then the owners at the end of the night gave me a free blackberry cobbler that they had extra of with blackberries that were gathered from Mount Shasta. Anyway, after this town stop, my heart was filled all the way right up to the very top, and I went back to my little A-frame cabin and got a great night's sleep, and then started hiking in the morning. And I got a shower. I'm not sure, I didn't have a shampoo, but I am more clean than I was yesterday.